I've definitely been grinding like crazy in Halo Infinite. I've got about 230 hours, 250 hours maybe in Halo Infinite, and yeah, I've been pretty much no-lifing this shit, and I think I have a leg to stand on with some things I want to talk about in this video. And one of the things that I want to talk about in this video is solo queuing in crossplay open queue instead of the solo duos with mouse and keyboard or controller. They're definitely obviously better for solo players, but at the same time, I feel like solo duos are just lacking in terms of like player counts. I feel like the open queue would be the preferred method of ranked play in this game. I feel like it's a lot easier to find games in open queue. So I've been grinding open queue from the start, from forever, basically. This is like the main one that I grind, period. One of the biggest issues with solo queuing on open queue obviously is going up against stacked teams. Although I'm not entirely sure that until we have some transparency from 343 about how the stacking works in open queues. This is just my general like idea, and from my experience, this is what I have come across through my 240 hours of play in open queue. They generally tend to not put you up against that many stacked teams, although if you're playing at certain hours, you know, maybe you're in a region where like it's like fucking 3 o'clock in the morning and there's not that many players online in your region, and you end up queuing up in like, I don't know, on the West Coast or in the UK or, you know, a completely different place, and you just get screwed with your ping, and it's just wild. But anyways, normally I feel like if you're solo queuing, you're gonna end up with a lot of people who aren't in completely stacked teams, which is, you know, it's not that bad. And honestly, obviously, if you're up against a stacked team and you're solo queuing, you're most likely gonna lose unless you got some like seriously over-skilled players that are queuing up on your team. Communication is definitely the biggest and most important thing in this entire game. Communication is so OP in this game. It is ridiculous. If you're not calming and you're playing solo, you're doing something wrong. Period. Like when I first started this game, I was not calming that much because in all honesty, when I first started this game, I wasn't really much of a I wasn't crazy into like Halo ranked play. I was more like a casual Halo player. And, you know, I was still learning all the maps and all the callouts and all that other stuff. So I wasn't really calming that much. But after a while, when I started to learn like the maps and the callouts and everything, it definitely started completely shifting not only my playstyle, but it started changing the entire outcomes of every single one of the games that I queued in. So one thing I noticed, sometimes, you know, like sometimes I'm just not feeling it. Sometimes I'll turn my mic off because there's nobody else calming, you know what I mean? And I'll just do the tags, you know what I mean? Up on the D-pad, you know, when you're tagging somebody. That's also, it's a good way to communicate without communicating, you know what I mean? And I think people don't, I can't stress this enough how important that is. Like, people don't realize that even if you don't have a mic, dude, the pings are so strong in this game. If you ping a lot and you're not calming, you're gonna get pretty close to the same results than if you were calming. You know what I mean? And a lot of times it's like you don't exactly know the location or the call out, but when you ping, it automatically tells you. It'll tell you how many enemies are in the area. It'll tell you what area it's in. It may not give you an exact location. The enemy may have moved, but that general idea of where the enemies are definitely give your teammates. And if I have a player on my team who's combing through pings, I obviously am going to go into it knowing that if he's pinging an enemy, it's not exactly where the enemy is, it's the general area. So if you're pinging a certain direction and I'm heading in that direction and I see that there's 2 enemies over there, I might switch up my tactics. I might turn around and go a completely different route and try to get a better angle on it. You know what I mean? It's not like it's giving you an exact location, but just the fact that you're pinging where the enemies generally are is such a huge deal in ranked play. It is so huge, and I feel like nobody is using this enough. Nobody is taking advantage of the communication power in this game, and that's definitely, you know, it's a problem. It's a huge problem in ranked play. It's definitely costing me quite a few games. But like I said, if you have a mic and you're solo queuing in open queue, even if you're doing solo duos, just having that communication almost guarantees that you'll do better, if not guaranteeing you a win. You know what I mean? And another problem that I've been encountering when I'm solo queuing in the open queue, or just in solo duos in general, just in ranked play in general, is just the complete, like, disregard for your teammates' locations. So you gotta remember, Halo in general, ranked play, is a team-based game. And if you're not playing with your team, if you're just running in one by one, let's say all 4 of you are together at one point, and then you guys just get completely rolled by the enemy team. All of a sudden, now, when you guys respawn, you're all splitting up, and one of you is going directly to the enemies while everybody else is going out getting power weapons, and then you guys start going in one at a time, one by one. You're just feeding the machine, you know what I mean? You're just feeding the enemies kills, and it's not really giving your team any benefit, and you're not getting any benefit towards the initial goal of the game, especially if you're playing Slayer, especially if you're playing team-based, just any game mode at all. If you're playing capture the flag and you're going into the base by yourself and you're grabbing the flag, guess what, buddy? You're not going to get out of there alive. You're not going to make it out, and you're not going to get any benefit from doing that alone. The biggest thing that you could possibly do in this game is communicate. Communication is so freaking strong. I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of something on how to come without using a mic in multiplayer, in any multiplayer mode, in the game in general. So basically, one of the biggest, like I was saying, one of the biggest things about this is communication, and pinging. Pinging is super strong, and a lot of people don't do it. They don't do it enough, or they're not pinging the right thing. So, like when active camo or certain spots on the map are very important, you can tag them through walls. Look, check that out. See, you can let people know that they're spawning, even if they're not spawned in yet. It's just good to let everybody be aware that it's going to be, you know what I mean? Like if you're trying to make a play and you're not able to communicate, one of the best ways you can communicate is by pinging. Just ping everything. Honestly, just ping everything. You can ping locations, and pinging locations and pinging enemies is like one of the best ways to learn the call outs and the locations on the map, because it automatically tells you exactly what the name of it is. West Alley, we got East Alley, we got Tower, you got lockers, you got library. See, it's just it makes it so much easier for everybody else. And maybe the people that you're playing with don't know what to press or don't understand how to ping. So by default, ping should be up on the D-pad or X on the keyboard. So as you can see here, it says helmet light mark. That's what you're gonna want to press for default. For legacy, for bumper jumper, recon, and button puncher, hell jumper. It seems like all of them, pretty much all of them, are going to be the same unless you change them personally. So up on the D-pad for controller users and X on the keyboard for mouse and keyboard. And just ping everything. Just ping it all. Ping the whole friggin' map. Let your teammates know where the enemies are. Let your teammates know what you're gonna do. You know what I mean? If you're just ping locations, even if you don't see the enemy or you don't manage to actually ping the enemy, just pinging the location lets your teammates know to pay attention to that location. And just having more than one person pay attention to that location could wind up being the difference between you winning and losing a match. You know, and it's so important. But going back to what I was saying about the pinging and the general locations, and you know, just getting a general idea of where the enemies are and trying to get a better angle on them and trying to get a better route and trying to surprise them, maybe flank them, you know, without your team behind you. One of the biggest things that I've noticed is you have to practice. You have to learn the maps. And a good way to do this is to play Tactical Team Slayer. You know, at first, when you first start the game, yeah, all the mechanical skills, you know what I mean? You have to learn them. You have to get used to the game and as a whole. You need to be able to execute your movement. You need to be able to hit your shots. You need to be able to strafe. You need to be able to do all the tech moves like the super slide and all this other stuff. But once you got that down, if you're not implementing them correctly, as well as having the correct routing and the correct tactics and knowing the high traffic areas on maps, etc., you know, like especially with power weapons and stuff like that, you're going to want to get into a game mode where it's all about positioning. Tactical Team Slayer, the reason why I say that's one of the best ways to warm up is because once you got your mechanical skills down, it really doesn't matter. Everybody else is going to have pretty much similar, if not, you know, everybody's going to be around the same point. When you hit a certain rank, the mechanical skill just does not matter anymore. Everybody's got just about the same amount of mechanical skill as you. Yeah, there's going to be those rare occasions where like Lucid or the pros, you know, they're hitting more shots than other players. Of course you're going to have those, but at the same time, if you have the right routing and the right angles, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. You can have no mechanical skill whatsoever, but as long as you're routing correctly and you're getting the angles correct, you're going to completely roll the enemy team. And that's why I say Tactical Team Slayer is the perfect way to practice for that, because those one-shot headshots, those one-shot kills, it doesn't matter what your mechanical skill is. You can't strafe around that. You can't super slide around that. You know, if you're up against good players, it doesn't matter what you're doing, they're going to kill you. And if you're finding the right angles in Tactical Team Slayer, it forces you to play smart. It forces you to find the right angles. It forces you to find angles that you may not have known existed. And if you're able to take that gameplay from Tactical Team Slayer and implement it into your gameplay in ranked, you're going to be OP. You're going to dominate. You're going to be so much better than the competition. So Tactical Team Slayer for me is the best way to warm up. And I feel like that is just across the board. Everybody should be doing that to warm up. Bot matches, yeah, of course. There's you can set up bot matches, but bots, they're really not going to be a good representation of player skill. You know what I mean? It's a good way to warm up and to get back at, like, let's say you haven't played in a long time and you need to get back into the controls and the mechanical skills again, then yeah, bot match is going to be fine. But when it comes down to improving your gameplay overall, and when you hit a skill ceiling in ranked play, and you're at that point where your mechanical skill is just on point, but you're just getting rolled by the enemy team over and over and over again, even if you're not going up against a stacked team, then it's your positioning. It's your positioning, your angles, and it's your overall tactics and your map awareness. And Tactical Seam Slayer is one of the greatest things to do for map awareness. Alright, with all that being said, I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys implement all that wisdom that I've gained from playing into your games, and I hope to see you guys in ranked using some of the skills that I've tried to teach you guys. And yeah, I'll see you on the other side. Be sure to like and subscribe. And if you like my content, if you want to see more of this content, this is my first video of the series. I'm going to be making a lot more Halo Infinite tips and tricks, as well as just general reviews or you know, just trying to improve other people's gameplay as well as my own, because in all honesty, watching back all the video clips and listening to the tips and tricks that I've thought about very intensely also help me realize the mistakes that I'm using. And the more that you see the mistakes that you're making in your gameplays, then the less likely you are to make them yourself. So not only are you guys learning, but I'm also learning from this. But like I said, shoot me a like and subscribe if you want to see more of my content. You know, give me some suggestions, give me some comments, give me some questions, what you guys would like to see in the future. If you guys would like to see certain content, if you guys would like, if you have any questions that you would like me to answer, or, you know, just show some support, you know what I mean? Anyways, I hope you all had a great day. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and peace out. I also want you guys to know I am a streamer. I do stream on Twitch. I stream Wednesdays and Saturdays, sometimes Sundays, but I'm usually streaming a wide variety of games. Halo Infinite is going to be one of those games that I'm going to be streaming a lot of, so definitely drop by if you want to see some of that content. I stream with a bunch of my friends as well, so you know, sometimes we'll be playing something completely different, but I would really appreciate any support that you guys can give me. Hit me up on Twitch/ValRaven, and I hope to see you guys there. Peace.